Excuse the terrible quality. It is very dark here and it's raining a lot. And I just finished This Woven Kingdom. I have the physical copy over there, but I was so tired and it was uncomfortable to read with a physical copy, so I just used my e-reader. But I just finished it. It's currently 9 in the morning and I have to go to work pretty soon. But I needed to share my thoughts. I really liked it. It was a good book, but at the same time, I'm kind of disappointed. I feel like the way the author writes characters, they all seem kind of like the same. I think it's because I just read the Shatter Me series, which is by the same author, and that was like 10 books, if I'm not mistaken. So it was a lot. Like, I was inside of that woman's head for like 2 weeks just reading those books, so I kind of like picked up on the way she writes and the way she writes characters and stuff. So this story is completely different from Shatter Me. This is a fantasy series. It's like you have magic, you have dragons. Very different from Shatter Me, which is a dystopia. So this is more like high fantasy, but I do feel like the characters are very similar to the characters in Shatter Me. It's just that here they have different names and they live in a different world, but I feel like the personalities are so similar. And I kind of hate that. This might be a spoiler, so if you haven't read this series, please skip ahead. But there's a love triangle in this. It's sort of, not really. There's not a love triangle in this one, at least. Let's scrap that. There's no love triangle. The thing is, the way she wrote Shatter Me, let's take Shatter Me for example. There was a love triangle in Shatter Me, but she deceived us. Like, in the beginning, she wanted us to believe that the main character would end up with this other male character from book 1 because he was super important. He was there throughout the whole story, so you were deceived into thinking that, oh, they're gonna be together, like this is it, this is her romantic interest, this is the guy. But no, like the more you read, the more you realize that that dude's gonna be forgotten and that the main character is gonna end up with someone else. And she did the exact same thing here. Like, it was the exact same. Like, she tricks you into thinking that she's gonna be with this dude, but she won't. And I know she won't because there are 3 books currently out. I've seen all of the fan art. I know this woman doesn't end up with the guy from book 1. I know. So she did the same thing. She did the same thing with Shatter Me as well, that she waited until the end of the book to introduce the true love interest. She did the same exact thing. I felt like she was kind of like redoing a lot of the things, but like in a fantasy setting, like even with the main character suffering and being despised, and like no one likes her, people have prejudice against who she is, but she's super powerful even though she doesn't look like it. Like, it's the same. I felt like I just read the same story but in a different setting, except that this one is better than Shatter Me. I said what I said. It is better. She's just learned how to write even better. This book was also longer, so she had more time to explain things. But overall, I don't feel like this is fully original because she just recycled her other characters and put them in a different setting, which is kind of lazy. I'm sorry. Not to say that this is a bad book. It is not. I had a really good time. I was just kind of like, it's because I just read Shatter Me. I wish I had read this first. And then if I had started Shatter Me, I would have not finished it. But this is actually better than Shatter Me. It's very magical. It's very nice. Though there are a few things that I was like, I don't think the plot made a lot of sense sometimes. I don't know. I just feel like some of the plot didn't make sense. And that she kind of dragged. I don't know how to actually explain it, honestly. I just feel like this had so much potential because it's such a freaking cool story. Very, very imaginative. It's just, there's something missing and I don't know what it is. And also it bothers me that the structure of this is very similar to the structure of Shatter Me. I feel like if you haven't read Shatter Me and you read this first, good for you, because this is better and it's awesome. I would say don't bother with Shatter Me. But if you have read Shatter Me and then you decided to pick this up, you're gonna notice. Unless it's been like a really long time since you finished that series and started this one. But for me, it hasn't been the case. Like, I literally finished Shatter Me, and on the same day, I picked this one up. So yeah, anyway, I want to continue this series because I really liked how this book ended. I thought it was kind of funny, very whimsical. So I will be picking up book 2, but I think not immediately because book 4 is coming out pretty soon. And I hate starting series that are not done yet, because I don't really love to reread stuff. And if there is like a long period of time between releases, I forget stuff. And then I'm kind of like too lazy to reread it. So I prefer to read stuff that is already finished, just completed. So this one, I think I'm gonna wait a bit. I'll write notes on this one so I don't forget. But I will be picking up book 2 and 3, I think, at least in a few weeks from now, maybe a couple of months. I don't know, I kind of want to read something different by a different author and explore like a different world. But yeah, 4 out of 5 in the end. It was nice. It was very, very fun. I don't think it deserves a 3. I think this is a solid 4, to be honest. Now I'm gonna move on to another book. You can actually come with me. My next book is gonna be this one, Daughter of the Moon Goddess. I got this for my birthday from one of my friends. I'm so excited to read this. Also haven't read a proper physical copy in a while, even though I do have the physical copy of this Woven Kingdom, but it was a hardback and it was so hard to read. And I love reading on my way to work, and I also read at work, so I usually use my e-reader for that, my Kobo. But at home, I love having physical copies, but I love paperbacks. I'm really excited to read this one, and I think I'm gonna be starting it today. I'm just gonna go make some breakfast, make some coffee, and I'm gonna start this. And I'm gonna update you guys soon on my thoughts. Forgive my puffy face. It's morning. I woke up half an hour ago. But I'm just trying to romanticize my reading this morning before going to work. So I made some Chinese tea that my friend gave me, and I am excited. I'm just gonna drink my tea and enjoy this book. So far, it's nice, but I feel like there's something about the writing that is not really resonating with me. There's something about it that bothers me. I haven't figured out exactly what it is, but the story is pretty whimsical. It seems like right up my alley, but again, there's something about it. But I've only read the first chapter, so we'll see how it goes. Good morning. Pause for tea. Oh, this tea is so good. Got a Chinese tea from my friend. Her parents brought it from China, and it's just so good. It is so good. I'm obsessed. And how fitting. How fitting, because the book I'm reading is based on the mid. Oh my god, what is that? Oh my god, what is that? Sorry. Another pause for tea. What was I talking about? I remember yesterday I mentioned that I was not really vibing. There was something that was not convincing enough for me. Well, things took a turn for the better. Be careful, baby. Sorry, my cat almost burned himself. So yesterday there was something about the story that was, I don't know, there was something missing, there was something bothering me about the writing, but that all changed so fast. It's safe to say now that this is a 5 out of 5 star read for me. So far, I'm still on chapter 6, I think. But I am so obsessed. I adore the main character so much. Everything about this world is stunning. Everything is, oh my god, it's so warm and magical. It's pure magic. Everything about this story is just like a beautiful, beautiful dream. So vivid. It's so colorful. You have like all of those Chinese inspired outfits, and you have the beautiful houses, the beautiful temples, and oh, it's just it hits right in the aesthetic. It's so pretty. The descriptions are out of this world. It's the type of book that is right up my alley, truly right up my alley, on beautiful and magical and aesthetic and very, very whimsical. I just love whimsical stories. I don't know why, but it got to the point that I was literally tabbing. I don't know if you can see, but I was literally tabbing almost every page and underlining. I can just show you. I was just literally underlining, highlighting everything and writing notes, because some of the stuff that the protagonist said, it resonated with me so much, so I had to comment on it. I don't know. Anyway, everything about this book is perfect. And I also developed this really, really wholesome morning routine because, as I said, I start a little later at work this week. Not this entire week. Today is actually the last day. Started from tomorrow's 9 to 5 again, but it's fine. But at least I got to wake up really early, so I would make Chinese tea and choose my favorite mug and just like sit down and read this book and highlight and just have the coziest time, honestly. And it just makes my day so much better. I don't know how to tell you this. It changes the vibe of the whole day. Instead of like going to work feeling kind of sad because I have to be there for 8 hours, I have something to look forward to. That sounds so sad. Anyway, I have something to look forward to, and there's something about reading that is so special to me, and it makes my life better. Of course, if you're a reader, you can definitely relate, but my life is so much better because of books. I learn so much from them. I get inspired. It means a lot. It just means a lot. So this ritual that I created, I kind of want to do this whenever I pick up a new book, because I kind of like adapt to the aesthetic of the book. So even now that I'm reading this one, I have like a really pretty Chinese ambience video on YouTube, and it's just so nice. And I like to adapt to my books somehow. Whatever the vibe is, wherever it's set, there's something new that I can explore. I was reading this Woven Kingdom, and they talk so much about tea in that book. So much. And I love tea. I have an insane collection of tea, so that was not difficult at all. So I kind of like took inspiration of the types of tea that was mentioned in the story, and I kind of like chose the mugs that I thought fit the vibe. And I kind of like take it from there. I know it's extra, but I like being extra that way. And I feel like it's the best way to immerse yourself in your reading. So yeah, for this one, this new ritual, honestly, 10 out of 10. Now, if you excuse me, I'm gonna go back to my tea and I'm going to read. I just wanted to update you guys, and I'll see you later with more updates. Bye. Unfortunately, I didn't get to read a lot this past week. I had so many things to do, and I'm currently reading Daughter of the Moon Goddess, which is, like, as you can see, I tabbed quite a lot of this book. I'm basically halfway through, but it looks very short. As you can see, it looks short. It is not. For some reason, how long is this book? It's like, oh God, where are the page numbers? Seriously? This has no page number? 500 pages. This book has 500 pages. And it feels like it's 1,000 pages. I've been reading this for almost 2 weeks now, and I'm halfway through now, which is, it's insane to me. So there's like a lot of time jumps, and a lot happens, and I feel like I've lived 1,000 years so far, and I feel like I've been here forever, which is, it's pretty crazy. So I don't know why, like a book like this, for example, like this Woven Kingdom, which I finished in a week. This book took me a week. This is also 500 pages. But here, I feel like I've been here for a whole month. So yeah, it's taking a while. I'm taking my sweet time with this. I feel like I also don't want to rush it because the writing is so stunning that I feel compelled to just write things down. I'm so sorry for this noise. My cat is going crazy over there. Anyway, yeah. Frodo, he stopped now. Yes, so I don't wanna read this too fast either and just miss out on a lot of information because it's a lot to take in. So I'm gonna continue being very slow with this, but at the same time, my TBR is it's pretty long. And I have quite a few books here with me that I got recently. I'm dying to read those books, and it's just, they look so pretty, and every time I look at them, I'm like, I wish I could be holding you right now, but I am still not done with this. It sounds like I'm complaining, but I really am not. I love this book. This book is great, please don't get me wrong. I just wish that I could read it faster because I want to read other stories as well. I'm sure you get what I mean. But let's talk about this one a little bit, because I feel like I didn't get to discuss this book a lot. It's too good. It's inspired by Persian mythology, which is something I never read about, and I thought it was fascinating. And you follow Alice, I think that's her name. Is it Alice? You follow Alice, I think that's how you pronounce her name, I'm not quite sure. But she is very poor and she's running away. She has a dark past. She has something that happened to her family, and she's on the run. She was supposed to have been killed, but she managed to run away. So now she's hiding in the city and she's working as a maid in order to get by. But she also has sewing skills. She's very good at sewing. She's a good seamstress and she makes beautiful gowns with very little, but her knowledge is extensive in that area. She learned it from her parents, and that's kind of like the job that she does on the side. She doesn't tell anyone because the people she works for, they're very rich, and this is how she gets her money because they don't really pay her. She's having like a trial period in that house, but she needs money. She needs to get by. So she works during the day, and at night she works as a seamstress, and whoever wants to hire her, she makes gowns for them. I apologize for the noise. My cat is having the best time and I really can't stop him. He needs to play. Anyway, there are jinns in this world, and as you may not know, jinns are part of Arab culture, and they're spirits. It's said that they're made of smokeless flames, but they can take up human form as well. So it's kind of like the same in this book. So you have the jinn and you also have the humans, but the jinn, there is like this whole history behind them, and apparently humans have now taken control over everything, and there's a lot of prejudice against the jinn. So they managed to make an agreement that says that jinn can live with humans, but they are considered less than. They have rights, but no one really respects them truly, and they exploit them for the most part. So a lot of jinn live in fear. They're not allowed to use their powers. They're not allowed to, because they are more powerful. They have abilities that are superior to humans. They're even able to go invisible, but there are several laws that forbids them to use their powers. So jinns are usually murdered, or they're used as slaves, or they are used as regular workers, but you know how things are, how humans usually are. So they are seen as less than. Their history was very rich before, but a lot of things happened that I cannot say. It's better for you to read. Alize, she is a jinn, and she has this huge secret that she cannot really tell anyone, and I can't say because it's a spoiler, but anyway. So she's running away, she's trying her best, she's trying to live her life, but then this kid tries to murder her in the streets, and she manages to knock him out and defend herself, because as a jinn she's very good at that. But of course she took pity on him and she didn't want to kill him, so she just decided to be kind, because she is a very kind person. I love Alize as a protagonist, she's fantastic. But she decides to take pity on him and let him live and even offer him food. But the people nearby kind of like saw everything that was going on. And also there's royalty in this book. So the prince just so happened to have been there in the shadows, because the prince was also in the army, so he's always like trying to help the king to find spies. He was just like, he was lurking, he was trying to see if there was anything out of the ordinary. And then he saw this girl knocking out a boy, and he was like, who the hell is she? Because she was dressed with because in this world the maids, and they all wear like a piece of cloth to cover their eyes, and she had one of those as well, so people can tell that she's a servant. And so he was like, what is this girl doing? How was she able to knock out that kid? What the hell is happening? So then he went there to ask for answers, and the kid did not want to say much, and the kid was afraid of him. But something happened in that moment between the king and that kid, and the king was the prince. The prince was regarded as like a hero because he saved that child. And then everyone was talking about it, and they were like, oh my god, the prince is amazing, wow. And then they were just like making a fuss out of it. The king was not very happy about that though. War was afoot, the king was worried. So there's like a lot of political intrigue as well in this story between different lands and the different kings. And so most of this story is how Alize's path was entwined somehow with that prince, because they cross paths, and they're the protagonists of this story. This is a dual POV. You have Alize's POV and you have Cameron's POV. He is the prince. So you need both POVs in order to understand where this story is going, because her POV is so very different. Her life is so very different from his. He's a person of privilege. She is basically a criminal. So you need both POVs in order to understand this. But it is basically how their lives are entwined now, and how her past is basically coming back to her and influencing everything around her and the lives of everyone around her. That secret that she has is gonna come out eventually, but it is how she forges a sort of friendship with the prince, and how there's much more happening in his kingdom and in the king's life. There's much more going on. There are so many secrets, so many things he didn't know, and it's just how he's finding out the true nature of his king and everything that has been going on in his kingdom for so long, and the lies, and it's very intriguing. So there's a lot of magic, there's a lot of mystery, there's a little bit of romance in this as well. This might be a spoiler, but I would warn you not to be too caught up in the romance in this. Just keep that in mind. Like, it's nice. Don't think about it too much. If you read her previous series, you will understand what I mean. But basically, like, I wouldn't get attached to that romance stuff. That's all I have to say. Might be a spoiler. I'm sorry. But I think you should know. But it's great. It's very magical. The way she describes the cities and the clothes and the food, it's so immersive. It makes you want to be there. It makes you want to experience that culture and just live among them for a little bit and try their teas and their pastries. It's so beautifully crafted. I was honestly having such a good time. I was making tea almost every day, choosing the perfect mug to match this book, and just like immersing myself in the experience of this. And the way she described clothes, I just loved it so much. There's something about the way she writes about clothes. You can tell that she truly cares about fashion. So that was a part of this book that I adored. But yeah, the romance was really cute, but as I said, don't focus too much on that. Focus mostly on the fairy tale vibes. And if you're interested in Persian folklore and mythology, this is absolutely perfect for you. Onto this one, I'm having such a great time. Like, I keep tabbing, I keep highlighting. It's so beautiful. I've been exploring Persian mythology and Chinese mythology now, and I'm just having such a good time. It's so cool. I'm in my fairy tale era, kind of like folklore era, and I'm loving this for myself. But yeah, basically this follows oh my god, I am gonna butcher her name. Her name is Ching Ying. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm sorry, please don't come for me, please. I'm sorry. Hello. Oh look, Frodo's here. Hello. My camera's running out of battery, so I have to run. But basically it's about Ching Ying, as she is the daughter of the moon goddess. Her mother was exiled because she committed a crime according to the celestial kingdom, because everything... Hello. Oh, you can stay with mommy. Because everything in this world is folklore based, right? So you do have the celestial kingdom, which is like this kingdom in the heavens. And you have the humans below. The gods and goddesses exist and they live in the heavens in another realm. And you have the celestial kingdom with its king and its queen and its prince. And you have gods of everything. But then you have the moon goddess. And she was exiled because she did something that the king and queen from the celestial kingdom did not vibe very much with. So they were very upset about it, and they were like, I don't think so, you're going to be exiled. And then they sent her to the moon. But they didn't know, little did they know, that she was pregnant. And she had her daughter there. She managed to raise her daughter. She did have the help of another person there. One day her daughter started developing her own magical powers, and the people in the celestial kingdom kind of like could sense her magic. So they went into the moon and they were like, we sense something weird here. Can you tell us what the hell is going on? Are you hiding something? And her mother was like, no, I'm not hiding anything. I don't know what you're talking about. And they were like, if we find out that you're hiding something, you're... So she was like, no, I'm good and everything's fine. I don't know what you're saying. I'm here all by myself. I haven't done anything wrong. And they were like, we'll be watching you. So then they leave, and she decides to tell her daughter to run and basically hide and just get the hell out of the moon, because those people will find her, and if they find her, they are both gonna be killed. So she sent her daughter away with the other lady who was living there to find a place to hide. So they take off, and the beginning of this book was very slow, so I was kind of like unsure when I started reading that part. I was like, what's happening? Because like it was just too much. It can be too much if you're not used to a lot of magic and a lot of really weird, very outlandish concepts. And I was just like, hey, they are riding a cloud. Yes. That was a bit too much for me. So I was kind of unsure. But after that, once you accept it, you run with it, everything is fine. I was very intrigued. She managed to run away and she ended up in the celestial kingdom. She managed to conceal her identity and get a job at a rich person's place as a maid. And her life was hell. The other ladies who worked there didn't like her, so treated her so bad and made sure to make her life a living nightmare. But one day she was crying by the river because she was cleaning the clothes of the main lady of the house. She was wrongly accused of staining those clothes with ink. So she was just by the river, super angry, trying not to scream. And that's when she, oh my god, what's wrong with my voice? And that's when, Jesus, I'm so sorry. And that's when she met the prince, but she didn't know he was the prince. So she talked to him as if he was a random person. And he felt that very refreshing. So they kind of like listened to one another. He was very kind to her. He was really nice. And she felt heard. She felt seen for the first time in a really long time. And she was carrying the weight of everything that happened to her family and having to run away and having to grieve. She was carrying so much and she just wanted to escape, and she found companionship in him, and he was so kind to her. But basically the prince was looking for a companion to study along him, so he was hosting a competition in the celestial kingdom in order to find a companion. And the lady of this house that she was working at, she really wanted to be part of that competition. So, but the prince, seeing then that they were treating her badly, decided to call them out. And they were like, it is forbidden to do this, this, and that. Like, this is not the way you're supposed to treat the people who work for you. And then he threatened to not let that lady participate in the competition. And the lady was baffled, and she was like, oh my god, no, but I have to be part of it. And then Ching Ying, the protagonist, she was like, oh, but could I maybe... Frodo! I'm very sorry. She asked if she could maybe be part of that competition. And the prince decided to accept her as a contestant in the competition. And that lady was really angry. Her dad was really angry. But the prince accepted. He said that he would only let that lady participate in the competition if they sponsored Ching Ying, if she could also participate. They were pissed, but they could not cross the prince, so they were like, yeah, sure, fine, whatever, as long as we get to participate. So yeah, basically they all joined this competition, and the story starts really from there, from that competition. I recommend you to just go and read the synopsis for this. I don't know if it's a spoiler. Is it a spoiler? It's not a spoiler. Look, she wins the competition, okay? Of course she does. She wins the competition and she manages to become the companion of the prince, and they strike a friendship. They study alongside each other for a really long time. And her whole plan, the reason why she signed up for that competition in the first place, was not only to get the hell out of that house with those awful people, but also because her main goal, her ultimate goal, is to save her mother. Is to go back to the moon and save her mother from the exile and find out the truth about what happened and the truth about her dad. There's so many secrets in the story, but her ultimate goal is to save her mother. So everything she does is to save her mom. Everything, every single thing. And yeah, the story goes from there. It's fascinating. There's so many mythical creatures, so many fight scenes. Ching Yin is one of my favorite protagonists. She is strong, but she's kind, but she's fierce in a way that I can relate. She has a lot of anger inside of her, but she uses that and she turns it into power somehow. I find her just incredibly relatable. I love her so much. She's amazing. And the world building, absolutely fascinating. Stunning. It's really like reading folklore. If you're also like are into Greek mythology and all of that, you know how absurd it is. This is very similar. Very, very absurd. If you're into that kind of stuff, I think you would really enjoy this. But so far, I'm having the best time. And a lot of things happen that I was just not expecting. So I love where she's taking the story. There's a little bit of romance in it, in here, and I think there might be a love triangle. Actually, for the first time, I want the love triangle. If you read this, you will understand. I cannot say more because it's a spoiler. There are a few books that I bought recently that I really want to share with you, because that's basically my TBR for the upcoming months. And I'm so excited. I got so many fun books. And I usually don't buy a lot of books because I like to read them first on my e-reader, because you never know. It's not always that I give stuff 5 stars. I feel like it's such a waste of money to buy stuff that I don't care for and that I actually didn't like, while I could be buying my favorite books. So my goal is always to collect my favorite books and series that I really care about. So I don't see the point in buying books all the time. But sometimes I do not respect that rule. Sometimes I splurge for no reason whatsoever and then I regret it, like I did last year. But sometimes I'm very lucky and I do manage to find some gems that I'm so grateful that I finally have. So right now I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 5 books. Actually, I got 4 because I bought those 4 books, but one of them I borrowed from my friend. But this is my TBR for the month of March and April. because I'm a very slow reader, so I cannot expect to read all of this in a month. So I'm just counting this for 2 months and we'll see how that goes. But basically I have Heart of the Sun Warrior, which is the second and final book. And they look so pretty together, look at them. Ah, love. So pretty. But yeah, I'm so excited for this. As soon as I'm done with The Daughter of the Moon Goddess, I will move on to the second book. These Infinite Threads, this one over here, which is the continuation of this Woven Kingdom. And it sucks because I got this one hardback. I got it secondhand because I was like, oh my god, hardbacks are so much better. I should get the hardback, plus it's so pretty. Regrets. This is so heavy. I always regret buying hardbacks because they're so uncomfortable to read and I can't take them everywhere. And it's just nice to have. I prefer to buy hardbacks of my favorite books because then they look great on the shelf. But I don't really like reading from hardbacks, if you get what I mean. I prefer paperbacks. So I was like, oh, whatever, I'm just gonna get the paperback. But they don't match. But it's okay, it's okay. So I got this one and it's so pretty. I love that it has like it's the same as the first one. It's decorated. Ah, it's so nice. I love it. But anyway, this one, and what else? This is the one I got from my friend. I borrowed and she tabbed it as well. I'm so excited. But it's Legendborn. I am so excited to read Legendborn. I read great things about it. I've only read great things about it. People always seem to be very passionate about this series. And I'm excited to explore it. Honestly, it's been on my TBR for the longest time, so I'm reading this year. The other one I got is so pretty. I got 2 special editions from Fairy Loot, but I didn't actually get it from Fairy Loot because I didn't buy it from them directly. I got them secondhand because people here in Norway, they buy a lot of stuff from Fairy Loot and then they don't like it and they sell it secondhand for super cheap. And I'm like, excuse me, snatch. But sometimes they're very, very expensive, so it's not every book that I can buy. But for the most part, they're pretty affordable. I'm kind of impressed. But basically, I got like a box with a few trinkets from Fairy Loot, including like this, I don't know if you can see it. This beautiful dish is so pretty because the girl didn't want it anymore, so she just kind of like gave it away. And I got 2 books. I got this one, Twin Crowns. It is magnificent. Just can you take a moment? Look at the sprayed edges. It's so pretty. Oh my goodness. This book, it's stunning. I am so excited. I can't wait. And this one has been on my TBR for the longest time. It's a YA, I believe. But I heard great things about it, so I'm excited. The other one, oh my god, it's also so pretty. It's this one. I don't know. Can you see it? Let's try to lock this. Yeah. It's stunning and it has sprayed edges. Let's try to focus here on the sprayed edges. My camera's trying to collaborate with me, but it's really hard. Can you see the sprayed edges? So pretty. And this is the back of the book. And then you have... It is so pretty. I'm crying. Look. Oh my goodness. Oh, I am honestly crying. And it has... Oh, they're both signed, by the way. It has a beautiful illustration inside. And it is also, I believe, signed by the author. And you have another illustration in the back over here. Can you see? Yeah. Over here. So stunning. It is called This Vicious Grace. I heard about this book, but I don't remember if I heard good things or bad things. But I've seen it around, but it doesn't matter. I don't care. I don't care about the reviews. I want to have my own opinion. I'm just very grateful I got such a beautiful book because that motivates me. Beauty motivates me. I know it's shallow, but it's true. So I am excited to read all of these books. Let me just show you the final stack. So this is it. This is my stack. This is my TBR stack for March and April. I cannot wait to get through these books. I'm so excited. But I'm gonna end this vlog here because I'm running out of battery and I have to go to work. But thank you for being here with me. I hope to share more of my reading journey with you. I'm having such a good time getting back to reading so many books this year. And it's been great. I cannot wait to share more. I cannot wait to share more books with you and to discover more books and to talk about books and to just like, have a good time. So thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you next time. Bye.